What's up, a Cinema Shogun here, and have any of you all ever heard the saying, what is done in the darkness will eventually come to the light? Well, I think that statement especially rings true for this video right here. Because you see, all of the lies surrounding Britney Spears will eventually get exposed in due time. And now, a Catholic church is calling out Britney Spears for not only lying on them, but for lying to her fans about her own wedding. Now, of course, some of us believe that there's a strong possibility that there's someone behind Britney Spears' Instagram account attempting to make her look like she's, let's just say, kind of crazy. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and check out what was posted on Britney Spears' Instagram account, and then let's figure out why this made this Catholic church so upset. Now, this post has since been deleted, but luckily I have learned that when I get a chance, just to screenshot whatever. And you all can do the same. Sometimes I miss stuff, sometimes you can help me out. But this was deleted. And she shared a photo of a wedding happening in this nice, beautiful, I would assume Catholic church now. And here is the caption. This is where I originally wanted to get married during lockdowns. I wanted to go every Sunday. It's beautiful. It really is beautiful. And they said it was temporarily shut down due to lockdowns. Then 2 years later, when I wanted to go get married there, they said I had to be Catholic and go through a test. Isn't church supposed to be open to all? And then she shared some emojis. So she's kind of like throwing shade at this church for not allowing her to get married there. Now, I'm not Catholic, so I'm really not the one to speak on this. Forgive me if I'm mistaken. You all can correct me down in the comments below. But it's always been my understanding that to get married in the Catholic Church, aren't you supposed to be Catholic? And I would assume that maybe Britney walked into this church, they saw her, and they were like, I rebuke you in the name of Satan. Those brown heels, that mascara, you've been married and divorced like 3 times. This guy's obviously scamming you. You appear to be out of your mind. Get this away from the Catholic Church. That's how I feel like one of these priests would react. But of course, that's not the case. And yeah, I know there's a lot of stuff out there about the Catholic Church and little boys and stuff. We're not going to get into that either. I don't think that's necessarily a reflection on everyone that, practices that religion or is involved in that religion at all. But yeah, I would assume that they took one look at her and like, what? You think that because you're Britney Spears, you could just waltz right into our church, having never been here before, and just get married even though you don't even practice our religion? This isn't a public park bench. This is a Catholic church. I'm not Catholic. I would never assume that I could just pick whatever Catholic church I wanted to and just go get married in there, having not ever even practiced the religion. So it's at least my understanding that that's how the Catholic Church works. Maybe I'm wrong. So I don't think that they were misleading Britney Spears when they told her, hey, you have to be Catholic and maybe we'll put you through a test because it obviously looks like you're not. And yeah, I don't know if we really want you in here. So that's what was Britney's claim. And I can't help but feel like maybe Britney herself or her team, they see what we're saying. They see and they pay attention to the conversations being had. Because just the other day, Britney posted something on Instagram basically confirming once again that she had no idea who was invited to her wedding. Now, of course, I made a video about that. Other people called it out as well, that it was weird that she had no idea who was invited to her wedding. And then that raised the conversation again about why did she even have it at her house, this house that was supposedly a prison. And then the wedding, it just seems generic and fake and weird. And everyone started talking about it again and coming up with different theories and pointing out a lot of inconsistencies. And as soon as that happened, we get this post from Britney saying, oh, well, this is where I really wanted to get married. And once again, it feels like damage control. It's like, hey, Britney wanted to get married at this church. You see, everyone? This is where she really wanted to get married, but they wouldn't allow her because the world is so bad to Britney. Britney's always the victim, so she had to get married at her house. As if there aren't other venues and churches all around the world that would have welcomed Britney in with open arms. It's just because this one Catholic church didn't let Britney get married there because she's not Catholic. She just had to marry in her backyard. She had to have her wedding in her backyard. I'm not buying it. I feel like the timing of this is sus because it comes literally on the heels of us calling out the fact that she had no control over her wedding. And this would show you that maybe she did, but she got exposed. Or at the very least, the people behind her account once again got exposed. After looking into this situation for a while now, Britney Spears' Instagram account is filled to the brim with lies. Like, she lies to her fans 24/7, or whoever's running her account lies to her fans 24/7. And it's just needless, nonsensical lies half the time. Sometimes it's throwing dirt on random people that don't even deserve it, like, in my opinion, Kelly Clarkson, and like this Catholic church, and I will get to that in just a moment. But I will say this, after looking into this situation for so long, and especially after this news just broke today, if we eventually get to the bottom of all of this, and we find out that it was indeed just Britney behind all of this stuff on her Instagram account, I'm not trying to be mean here, but I can't see myself ever supporting anything she does again. And I really mean that. If we get to the bottom of this and we find out that it was Britney telling all of these random lies to her fans, that it was Britney maybe taking advantage of the fact that people feel like something's wrong with her to gain attention, that it was Britney that was posting her naked photos right before Sam would post his little ads in order to make her husband more money. If I find out that that's the case, I could never support her again. Like, morally, I wouldn't, like, I couldn't even allow myself to. And I don't see why anyone would want to. Because if it comes out that Britney's indeed free and this is Britney behind all of this stuff, then it means that not only was Britney lying to us this whole entire time about all types of things, but it also means that she threw a lot of people under the bus that sometimes didn't necessarily deserve to be thrown under the bus. And I don't know. But let's just see, before I even go any further down that trail, let's go ahead and see what this church had to say. Because they just called out Britney Spears. Catholic Church calls BS on Britney Spears. You never ever asked to get married here. Britney Spears bashed a Catholic church in LA, claiming they wouldn't allow her to get married there. But now the church is calling the singer out, and I love to see it. Call out these lies. Let's get to the bottom of what's going on here. They said that she never even contacted them about the wedding at all. So someone, or Britney Spears herself, they shared this photo of this church. They literally shared a photo of some couple getting married that I would assume Britney doesn't even know. And they kind of threw shade and bashed the church for not allowing Britney to get married there. But from what the church says, Britney's never been in contact with them at all. But from what Britney says, she tried to go to church there every Sunday. This church has nothing on file that says Britney Spears has ever been there, ever contacted them. Let's go forward. If you missed it, Britney went on Instagram on Wednesday, posting a picture from inside St. Monica Church, and the caption saying, "This is where I originally wanted to get married during lockdowns. I wanted to go every Sunday." She then continued, "Then 2 years later, when I wanted to get married there, they said I had to be Catholic and go through tests. Isn't church supposed to be open to all people?" However, a representative for the church says that they've checked all of their records and none of them show Britney's ever personally even visited the church. So not only did Britney, or Britney's team, not even reach out to this church, she's never even set foot inside of it. Their records show Britney's never personally visited the church or even asked to have the wedding there. But they do admit at least one spouse in the wedding has to be Catholic. Okay, so that clears up some of what I was thinking. It's just a ground rule across the board. So as far as we know, Britney's not Catholic and Sam's not Catholic. Now, Britney posted another post today claiming that all of a sudden she's Catholic now. Maybe we'll get into that later, but let's just go further in this. The rep says that the pic posted by Britney appears to be from a live stream, not a photo that she took on her own. The church knows the couple in this photo, and no one gave clearance for Britney to use this photo on her Instagram account. Now, of course, maybe she Googled it and she used it, but at the end of the day, I don't think Britney realizes sometimes that when you're snatching random pictures off the internet, you're putting these people's faces and their lives out there to millions of people who they don't know. It's just imagine being some unsuspecting person and Britney shares your photo while talking crap, right? On her Instagram account for 48 million people to see. Next thing you know, you got tons of people in your DMs sending you hateful messages. And I can tell you right now, these Britney fans are absolutely insane. They will threaten to do all types of stuff to you. Hell, they might even show up at your front door behind some stuff like this. So I don't know if she realizes it, but she does it all the time. I don't ever see other celebrities do this. She just takes random photos of like people's kids, people's weddings, and just posts them on her account. I guess maybe not realizing the outreach that she has, and that now these people and these weirdos on the internet, they will dive into these other people's lives just because Britney posted the photo. But bam, folks, right there, another lie. And this is a big one. This is a big one. And I do believe that there's a few possibilities here. Let's go over the possibilities, at least in my mind. So we know now that it's a lie. Britney never, or supposedly, never contacted this church. She's never been in this church. She claims that, I wanted to go to this church every Sunday. I wanted to get married here and they wouldn't let me. It was so bad, so sad. They never even heard from the woman. So let's explore the possibilities. The first possibility, that Britney is just crazy, delusional. She's talking out of her head. She has no idea what she's talking about. She just goes on Google, grabs a picture of a random church and claims that she wanted to have her wedding there, even though it never happened. And that would just prove that, like I've been saying, Britney's going through some things mentally and maybe she needs help. Not that she needs a conservatorship. Let's make that clear. But she needs help. She needs people around her that care about her. She needs someone besides what she's got going on. So that's one possibility. That this is just another one of Britney's weird delusions. This is just her imagination running wild, and she has no idea what she's talking about. Second possibility. This is just a blatant lie by Britney Spears. She knows that the fans are wondering why she got married in her backyard. She knows that people are saying the wedding looks fake. And now she's like, hey, everyone, well, this is where I really wanted to get married. Or let's go over the other half of that possibility. It's damage control. They know that we're calling it out. So the people running Britney's account wanted to make it appear as if, Britney really wanted to have a wedding here or a wedding here, but she just couldn't. So we had to settle for the yard, everyone. We had to settle for having Britney's wedding at this house that she called a prison for all of these years. So it could be damage control. But either way, it's either Britney or her team blatantly lying to us to try to make her, I don't even want to say look better, because you shouldn't have to explain things to this extent. Like Britney, if you really wanted to have a marriage, you really wanted to get married at your house, you don't have to explain things to anyone. You could do what you want. But once you go forward trying to over-explain it and you're doing things like this and you're going so far as to share pictures of churches that you've never even been to, claiming that they refuse to let you marry there, now you're going too far. You're going way, way too far. And I think that's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Now let's go to the last possibility. This possibility is one that I think we really need to think about here. A lot of people don't believe that Britney is free. There is a strong possibility, ladies and gentlemen, I want you all to really think about it, that Britney thinks in her mind that her team reached out to this church, but they never did. There's a strong possibility that Britney was being fed BS by the people that controlled her, and that they told her, oh, we reached out to this venue and that venue, and no one will let you get married there. Oops, guess we got to have it at the house. Guess we got to have full control over your wedding because nowhere else is allowing you to go. So maybe, just maybe, Britney really thinks that she tried to have her wedding there and that they refused to allow her to have her wedding there. You have to understand that it's not like Britney's getting on the phone and calling this church and setting up the plans. She's going to have someone else do that. I don't even think Britney's capable of having an entire phone conversation. So if that's the case here, there's a strong possibility that Britney's team, her loving team that so cares about her, according to her fans, even though it's the same exact team she had during her conservatorship. That's the weirdest part to me, that everyone's acting like, oh, Britney's free now, everything's okay, man. Literally, Britney's surrounded by all the same exact people. You got, what, 2 or 3 people out of the picture, supposedly? Lou Taylor and the father and maybe a couple other little people. But at the end of the day, a lot of the team around her, the assistant, the husband, they're all from the conservatorship era. So I don't think this team has her best interest at heart. And I've tried to explain that to you all 1,000 times, but we're not going to go over that again. But strong possibility here, ladies and gentlemen, that she thinks that her team was trying to reach out and get her venues, but they never did. They just told her, oh, they refused because they didn't want Britney to be out in public. They didn't want Britney to be out at the church. They didn't want Britney to be anywhere other than where they can control her best, which is at her house. So, what do you all think? What do you all think? I think this is pretty good evidence that there's some type of mix-up going on here. That there's something. I think this is something that you could point to and be like, hey, everyone thinks Britney's in control of all of her own shit, but hey, you know what I mean? Or it's either, either way, it doesn't look good. Either, hey, this is evidence that Britney's not in control and there's a lot of other stuff going on here, or this is just goes to show that Britney just lies to everyone about everything. And people who are dealing with mental health issues, a lot of times they do. And I don't want to necessarily, you don't want to necessarily hate, or hate's a strong word. You don't want to grow a disdain for someone or start disliking someone because of some of the stuff they do because of their mental illness, if you will. But a lot of people that deal with mental illnesses, they come up with random lies and they bash some of the people that are closest to them. So I don't know what to think here. But this goes to show, this is another crack in their story. And this is going to come crumbling down soon. I can see it. That's why I think they're going so hard to try to go ahead and get new product out there. Let's hurry up and get new music out there. Let's hurry up and get new books out there. Because their story is crumbling down. Their narrative is just being cracked every time we make one of these videos. Every time there's another post on her social media, we could call out so much of the BS. But it feels good to me to know that I'm not the only one here. That a whole entire Catholic church in LA had to call Britney out. Or whoever's running her account out. It goes to show that other people are paying attention. And it just proves what I've been trying to tell you all along. That there is just blatant lies and nonsense being spread on this page. I wouldn't believe anything that comes from it. And when you see stuff like this, what would it make an average person feel like? Like Britney is less credible, correct? This to me makes Britney look less credible. It's going to make anything Britney says going forward harder for me to believe. Because if you would just create a random lie about this church off the top of your head, then what else would you lie about? And I felt from the beginning that a lot of what Britney has said about this conservatorship has been somewhat of an exaggeration. Don't get me wrong, I think the conservatorship was horrible. I don't want her back in the conservatorship ever, regardless of what she's going through mentally. I just believe that some of it may have been over exaggerated because we're getting fed constant lies by her or what appears to be her on Instagram. So I'm having a hard time believing everything that this woman says, or believing anything this woman says for that matter. But of course, that might not be Britney's fault. That could be someone behind the scenes doing what they can to make her look less credible. And all in all, maybe they didn't even think out this stuff so much. Maybe they just posted a random picture of a church for damage control because everyone was calling out her wedding, not knowing it was going to backfire in their face. But I love to see it. I'm glad it backfired. I'm glad another lie has been exposed. We get one step closer to figuring out what's going on here. And I believe that they're going to do whatever they can to pump out some new music, new book, whatever, because they know their narrative is crumbling. They know that people can see through it. So they're going to try to do whatever they can to change the conversation. But what's weird to me is this. Let's say tomorrow you wake up and Britney Spears has a new album out. How can you enjoy that album in good faith, knowing what's going on here? You see, when they announced that Britney was coming out with this Tiny Dancer song, I couldn't get excited because why would you? Why? And why? Honestly, really logically think about it. You're watching this woman just go absolutely crazy every day on Instagram. You're watching her walk around piles of dog crap. And then you're going to put on her new single and listen to it? Yeah, this is great. None of it's going to make you think wait, I just watched this woman, modeling old nasty clothes around dog poop. And I see this woman having mental breakdowns on Instagram. I don't see how anyone could support new music or a new anything, when this is what we're being given. You understand what I'm saying here? It's why would I want to listen to your album now after everything I've seen take place on your Instagram? After I've seen these pictures that look like human trafficking pictures? After I've seen, dog crap all over your house? Why do I care about your new song? And then knowing that you can't even write a coherent sentence or a paragraph yourself, why would I want to read your book? It's not like Britney's going to write this book. You know what I mean? And I understand that other people have people technically writing the book for them, but I don't think Britney even can form many coherent thoughts to put a book together. So anyone that's reading that, you're being misled about that as well. There's so much stuff to say, and maybe I'll save that for another video. But the point of this story is, the point of this video is that now, once again, it is being exposed that we are being fed lies. Either Britney's lying or her team's lying, and this won't be the last lie that they get caught in. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all on the next video.